What I have with me is original passport request by the government of Canada, which means our client is eligible to come to Canada.
And we have helped hundreds of other immigrants reach new horizons. Be it crafting a compelling statement of purpose for a fresh start, a persuasive cover letter for a tourist visa, or a detailed letter of justification for refusal cases. Our success is measured not just by the visas granted, but in the dreams you realized and the global journeys that begins a new chapter in their life.
In this video, we are going to talk about the various factors on which the embassy generally refuses students and what you can do to avoid it.
Do you know, we have especially crafted these factors by doing daily research and development on refusal letters from various embassies like Canada, Australia, UK, New Zealand, USA and other European countries. Let us have a look at these factors one by one. Now, when it comes to obtaining a study visa, it means that you have to show that you have to learn something. Sometimes students already have masters or work experience of 5 to 7 years and they are applying for a diploma. But they do not justify why, despite a similar or higher degree, they are going for this diploma. Here, you do not have to glorify your job experience because the embassy directly questions your status as a student and asks you why you want to study when you already have so much experience. Remember, you are applying for a study permit, not a work permit. So instead of showing them how much you know and how much expertise you have, politely justify the need for the course that you have to pursue. And you do lack some technical leadership or management skills which this course will help you bridge. Basically, you have to show that you are in need of an education. Student is unable to justify return on investment. Most embassies refuse students using simple mathematics. The embassies expect you to complete the course and return to your homeland promptly. Now, most students are unable to show a cost-benefit analysis. That is, when they are spending, say, $20,000 a year studying abroad, how come they are recovering this cost or making more when they return to their homeland? Because it is common sense that if you are spending $1, you would want 2 in return or at least 1.2. Otherwise, why would you invest your time and money? So here, you have to properly justify your goals, job roles, and some high initiative projects, saying that your return on investment is practically justified when you return your homeland with credential from such countries. Number 5. Financial and language ability. Many times students have a question in mind. How much funding is appropriate? Now, the visa officer is not interested in your riches. They just want to know if you can pay the remaining fee comfortably or not. If yes, then you are good to go. When it comes to language ability, sometimes students get a lower overall band or a lower score in one of the bands. Now, it is your responsibility to justify your low score. How we do this in our SOPs or cover letter is to say that we use English on a daily basis, mention scores in English from previous academic studies, and humbly request that a language ability is not judged on just one test. One may get anxious because of the high stakes involved and he's giving the test for the first time. Why you want to study abroad despite the fact there are local options available? It is one of the major factors that students ignore, and the embassy takes it very seriously. Because when you say that you are a temporary student and you will return to your homeland, then why are you not studying in your homeland in the first place? Doesn't it make sense that you justify it? We make sure from our side that we dedicate a special paragraph where we do mention what are the local options available and why the student is not studying there. You must also research and mention in your SOP what makes you cross boundaries just for the sake of education. Factor 3. Illogical progression of studies. The kind of course you are taking often says a lot about your decision making ability and common sense. When someone is inviting you to their country, they make sure they have sensible people. When you have done a Bachelor of Arts and now you are going to pursue business management, then it is natural that you must show why you are making such a change of stream. If you have a diploma in computer science or computer applications and now you are going for mechanical engineering, then again from your side you must explain why you are choosing a different field. One student came to us who was going from the medical field to an MBA at University Canada West. Not even MBA in healthcare, but general MBA. Embassy refused him on the ground that he had extensive experience as a radiation therapist and now he's choosing MBA. Imagine medical to general MBA. In such case, we handled his case and we justified that why he is doing so and what his career goals are. We clearly justified he wanted to expand his horizons beyond the technical field and learn the complexities of management in the healthcare field, which would open a diverse range of careers for him instead of just technical ones and allow him to take on the management roles as well, which he is not currently able to take because of his technical background. Eventually, he got his visa. If there was only one factor solely responsible for your entry into a country, it would be the fact whether you are an asset or a liability to the country. Because see, they are the ones who will be providing you the PR, permanent residency. So they want to ensure that you are an asset. And the best way to get to know that is your background. If you have low scores in academics or backlogs in the core subjects of your previous degree, then there is a good chance that the embassy might turn you down. On multiple occasions, it has been seen that they see your core subjects. That is, if you are taking a course in the field of nursing and you have done bachelor's in science and did not perform well in core subjects, you might be turned down. Now, how to justify this? Let us say you have not performed well in your academics. Try to mention your extracurricular participations or sport participations to show that you have invested your time well. The second method is if you have backlogs or low scores, instead of seeing it as weakness, try to show them how you fought it, how you fought back, how you cleared them, and what this experience taught you. Try to turn it into your favor, because eventually your mark sheets are carefully analyzed by their AI software Chinook 3+, so it is always better to justify. Now another method to cover your low scores is that if you have work experience, then try to highlight your responsibilities and the work ethic you have shown to improve the performance of the company. In short, you have to prove that you are an asset to their country. This is the most important factor that embassy considers, because they are the ones inviting you to settle in their own country. They just want to ensure that you serve their country. Submitting documents from institutions that are not recognized by the government or having gap years. Sometimes students, in order to cover the gap years, get diplomas from institutions that are not recognized by the government. Now, try to understand that these visa officers handle at least 8 to 10 cases like yours every day. So, they have a clear-cut idea of what you are trying to show them. Make sure you have mark sheets that are from accredited institutions only. Otherwise, you might be refused. If you have a gap year of 10 months or more, make sure you give proper reasoning for what you were doing in that period. You may have admit cards for exams, as many students
take gap years for competitive exams.
And if you don't have that, try to mention any online courses which you are going through, or maybe you have worked in an NGO or a Gurudwara serving, basically showing that you have utilized your time well. If you have none of those certificates, it is better to justify by showing that you were searching for appropriate courses, study destinations, and you had discussion with your parents. You were figuring things out for your future plans, which took your time. You can also mention you were preparing for IELTS exam. It is always better to mention what you were doing in that period instead of leaving it blank.
One such case came to us with their CAPES or GCMS notes, and the embassy had clearly mentioned that your institution is not accredited. Here, we humbly requested in the SOP that his academic performance and his potential to grow must not be judged because of a diploma, as he joined that institution innocently.
We also mentioned that he has performed consistently in his secondary and previous grades. So his performance must not be judged on just the fact that his diploma was not from an accredited institution, and consequently after few weeks he got his visa. Family ties could be one of the best reasons to return if stated properly. I repeat, if stated properly, because most students try to write it emotionally that we are attached to our parents, we have strong bonds, and this and that.
Now, let me ask you something very practical.
Do you really think are emotions enough to convince a professional who is reading 10 SOP like yours in a day? The answer is obviously no, because everyone says I am attached to my parents, so I will go back. You have to make compelling reasons based on reality. Mention your responsibilities as a son, as a daughter, or as a spouse, and most importantly, why in the first place your parents will not migrate to Canada. Emphasize it. This could be done by showing that they might be having their own job, their business, or lands to take care of, which keeps them in India. So you, in order to take care of them, must return to India. Make sure you justify that. Moreover, living with parents also provides you with certain health benefits. You might have some property to inherit in your homeland. With parents, you save so much on living expenses. Mention ground reasons, your own reasons, and please do not make up stories like someone in my house is having chronic illness or anything you cannot support with documents, because it weakens your case. You can see our other videos where we have presented some samples of SOP and cleared many refuse cases that too multiple time refused. We have made those videos with detailed explanation for your reference. Thank you for watching this video. I hope we could provide you with some awareness about how visa officers evaluate your case. If you want to get a personalized SOP or a cover letter for tourism purpose, or you want to discuss your case with us, you can contact us on the following numbers.